Alright, so this is going to be the last of the test boards for now. Hopefully TC is planning on adding a few of the other effects to this somewhere down the line. I don't have any expectations of drives or anything, but the infinity looper, sustainer, whatever it is, I think that would be a cool one. So this was one of the last pedals that was actually added, and it's the Alter Ego Vintage Echo. And I've got a picture pulled up of the version 2, and it has pretty much the same knobs as this one and a few of the settings that you can dial through. And this one seems to actually have a few more options that other one does not. So I'll go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see, I've got the tap tempo tuner put in the third slot right here. When I made this test board, I tried loading 5 spots in there, and it did allow me to do that, but then it started crashing, and it wouldn't let me out of this loop of crashing until I deleted the board, put 4 in, and it's dealing better with that. We'll see if it gets pushed into crashing again while I got all this going. Its algorithm is kind of like a mixture of the delay and the reverb combined, so depending on your needs and what you got going on there, you might be able to save a slot by combining those two effects into one of these. So I'll start by taking a look at the first spot that I have there. These two are going to be pre-Simplifier. These two are going to be in the effects loop in stereo. The first one is the 240 mod, it looks like. So there's my dry signal. Just a little bit. Kind of on the Fender and the combo settings. Fender pre, Marshall post. So that's my regular, and with cool. And it is called the 2240 mod, so I think that refers to the modulation that you're kind of hearing there. And even when you turn it off, it's still got those tails that are kind of trailing off there. Let's take a look at the next one. This is the Copycat. So that was a lot louder on the repeat, especially on the first one. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see. And you can see I've got like a few different BPMs going on here, like excuse me, 171, 218, 171, 308. They're not actually synced up to the tap tempo. I'll do that here in just a minute. But that's the Copycat. Pretty different from that other one. Let's see, then we got the E-Plex 2, which I guess is the Echoplex. Excuse me. So that one's cool. And let's see, the last one is the Space Echo. And these are pretty straight up settings on these, so let's get a little bit deeper into them here. So I've got the hot knobs assigned to each of the parameters, 1, 2, and 3 here across them. So we're on the 5th one, let's just start there. So if I turn up the time, obviously the space between the echoes gets a lot longer. As I turn it down, it's kind of fluttery there. Let's see, the feedback, it's kind of like the amount of it almost. And this is probably going to start feeding back. It's kind of cool. So you could sample that sound alone and, create some kind of ambient background out of that. As I bring the feedback down, start to go away. Let's see what happens if I turn up the level. So it's going to start feeding back even more onto itself. Alright, it's starting to get out of control there. Bring down the feedback. Bring down the level a little bit. And I could change the beats on each of these just by holding down the buttons, but you see it's not synced up to the tap tuner yet because I've not told it to do that just yet. Oh, also we had that one going too, so there we go. So this is the second spot, or I guess it's the fourth spot actually. Pretty cool. All right. See, the tail is still kind of dying off there. Taking a while. It's interesting. So the controls still do affect that even once it's off. So we're able to turn it down. So what if I turn the time up on this? It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. All right, and then this last one here. Of course, the time is still pretty high. Bring it down, it gets kind of fluttery. You see the, it's kind of cool. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Let's do this. I'm going to go to Edit. Let's do some of the setting adjustment here. So for the board, I'm looking for the tempo sync. So you have to turn it on for each of these. So on, they were all off. And let's see, for the expression assignment. Oh yeah, that's for the second switch. See, so you can either do tap tempo on these, or you can have nothing. So it has no mash feature that you can actually use on this. Although if you're using expression or MIDI or something, you should be able to adjust the parameters and kind of make it like it's a kind of mash button there. Let's see. So back to this. All right, so now the metronome button, little thing that was right there, is on each of these. And you can see they're all reading 128 now. And this is cool if, say, you wanted to stack some of the delays. So let's, or some of the echo, so let's do that. That's cool, it's like the two different kinds. Let's do these two. The only thing is that they're so like right on top of each other that it's almost hard to tell that there's actually two of them going on, other than it's kind of extra sound. So what we can do to kind of work with that, let's go to the edit, and on one of them we'll just change the time that it's beating to there, because for each of these, if you can see, get the at our disposal, the 2290 mod, BDM2, Copycat, DMMC, DMMY, EREC1, EREC2, Echo Flange, I guess, Echoplex 2, Reverse Mod, Space Echo, TR Organ, and then several tone print slots. I actually have not imported any tone prints from the app just yet on this one, so I'll have to take a look at those and add some in, but it's a really cool effect. But anyway, what I was getting at is, so you find the effects that you were on. This one was the Space Echo, and let's change it to dotted eighth notes. So that's going to put the repeats kind of falling on a different part of the beat than the quarter notes are on the other effect. So now, so yeah, there's kind of that extra little flutter in there. That's because because this one is pulsing to quarter notes, and this one is doing dotted eighths. Let's do this. Let's make this one the quarter plus dotted eighth. So that one. So, and each of the different settings that I named off there, they each have their own quarter note plus dotted eighth, and just regular dotted eighth settings. So we're going to make this one quarter and dotted eighth. Turn off that one. So. Let's reverse these. So I'm going to put the Echoplex here and the 2240 mod here. Did they actually change? I don't think that it did. Oh, I caused it to crash. I was going to be impressed if I made it all the way through without crashing. The 1.4.3 update is great. However, I have crashed this thing more times since the last update than I ever did before. So this is what happened to me before, where it just now is saying like, okay, delete the board. What happens if I say continue? If I say continue, is it gonna... Okay. So now, yep. See, it's doing this thing where it's gonna continually ask me if I want to keep the board, delete the board. Let's see what happens. So I really think that this is happening because I'm asking too much of the DSP, because I was trying to get it to flip-flop those two pedals there. It was probably just like right on the edge of what it can handle, and then it just decided to say nope. I don't want factory reset. Let's try continue one more time. I would be mad if I did factory reset. All right, so it's pulling up the things, but no sound. It's just going to start this loop again. Probably the best way to avoid something like this is just to be conscious of the DSP effects that you're adding onto it, and maybe turn off that feature where you can flip-flop effects and things if you're using this in a live setting. So the only way that I got this to go away before was to actually delete the board. It's kind of a bummer. Okay, so now it dropped me back into just one of my regular boards. All right. Let's see. I won't be able to name it right now, but I'll show you how I built that board. So you go to Edit, then you have to, let's see, you press up, yeah, on the board, Create. You tell it it's going to create to spot 47, and then you just start populating the spots with Vintage Echo, Vintage Echo, Vintage Echo, Vintage Echo, and Tap Tuner. All right, so I'm going to have to go back through the process of adding all these things in. It's a little annoying, but like I say, hopefully TC is going to be aware of this and make some kind of update soon that'll help with some of these crashes. Let's go ahead and wrap it up for today, though. Again, this ends the tone print side of things that I'm going to cover with the X5. So I'm going to start working a little bit more with things like my HX Stomp, and I also really want to show off my Boss SY200 synthesizer pedal, which is really cool, and I can do a lot of really cool things mixing it in with some of my other effects like the Plethora and the HX Stomp. So I thank you guys very much for sticking with all this stuff. I've gotten a lot of great responses from it, not nearly as much negative feedback as I would have expected, so I appreciate that, and look forward to continuing along building this community. So thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.